Smith. All right, so give me a random childhood memory. It's always funny for me trying to come up with this topic list, especially what will be the first topic. So I was like, I don't know. Give me a random Dion childhood memory.
Yeah. I remember, I'm the youngest of four boys, and for the most part, I always lied. So like I was just the youngest kid. You know what I mean? Like being bad and breaking stuff in the house and things like that. But I'll never forget the one time that wasn't the case. And my mom had come home, and all my brothers had been in and out. They're the next two is 2 years older than me, and then 2 years older than him. So when like I'm elementary school, you have like right about to graduate elementary school, and then high school. And so they with girls and all that whatever. And I'll never forget my mom coming home and finding a porno in the VHS player in the living room. So whoever decided to do that in the living room, you a wild boy between my brothers, specifically Donnell the Jory. And I'll never forget that my mom asked them who did it, and they blamed me. And I swear to you, this was the one time I told the truth. I said, Mom, it wasn't me. And they just held firm, and she told my ass up, dog. And that was the one time in my life. That was the one time in my life,
Oh my
bro,
God.
that I did not
Do
deserve
that.
it, bro.
He said,
And
I did not do that. I didn't do that.
whoever was whacking it in the living room that's diabolical behavior.
We are definitely naming this episode is I didn't do that.
So shout out my brothers, Donnell and Jory. This is a story that has just become a tall tale in our family. But man, dog, like I got rolled, bro.
That is hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious.
What about you, man? Give me a random.
For me, I'm gonna say back at a time when we were kind of, I guess we were homeless, but we were living with my aunt on 7218 and what street was it? 7218 Exchange, something like that. I don't know, somewhere over there on the east side in the 70s. And like it was a whole bunch of abandoned buildings and stuff that would be around my aunt's like on her block. Like it was a bunch of houses, but it was also like a few abandoned houses and apartment buildings. So me and my friends would literally climb up, like how like sometimes the back will be torn out of an apartment. So we would literally climb up the top and try to jump off the different stories and see how many stories we could jump off of. I jumped off like 2 stories one time. Fuck my knees up. I had to limp home. Gee, my knees to this day hurt. I'm like, yo, I know I did that shit when I was a little kid. Cause we definitely used to be climbing up there, jumping off the first story onto the ground, like just onto the grass for no reason. We used to do all kind of stupid stuff. We used to let people dogs out the yard, and let them chase us, and then climb on the garages.
You know what, man? Here I am getting falsely imprisoned and beaten for pornos, and you up there letting people dogs out. What the hell is that?
Who let the dogs out?
They can do a parkour off of half a 2 flat. What the hell is wrong with y'all, man? That man said, I bet I could jump off the 3rd floor with regular human legs. That's crazy, bro. That's great. He said 30 years later, I still feel it. Duh.
I got tears in my eyes. If you listen to this in audio form, I literally got tears in my eyes right now. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, y'all was some rabble rousers, bro. Y'all was letting dogs out and letting them chase you. That type of fear factor shit was y'all on, man. Here I am sharing a memory about how I was innocent and you was guilty to the motherfucker, man. What are y'all doing?
I mean, ain't no crime for letting no dogs out of the yard. What's the crime? They let my dog out the yard. Hey, arrest them.
Y'all was miscreants, man. What the hell is y'all?
I ain't gonna lie, the dogs would always run back to their yard, so I wouldn't trip on it, but it was still funny. Like I ain't gonna lie, one time we let out a pit bull, that motherfucker got up on us, bro. We had
y'all had to.
That motherfucker got up.
Listen, you let out the wrong pit bull. It is on you.
Gee,
They not playing.
gee, I hit that trash can so hard that I had ever hopped in my life to get on that garage, boy.
Boy, listen, you looking like my boy in the sand lot. You
Hey, you want to know something funny? I had a friend who was a raccoon. Like literally, like
wait, time out. Nope. No, no, we not. no. No, wait. Every word of that sentence was supposed to be there except the word raccoon. So listen, hear me out. You said I
I
had a
didn't say a
friend.
coon. I said a raccoon.
You said I had a friend. That
I
was.
got tears in
And
my eyes right now.
the word raccoon would have never been guessed. I'm just bro. What? Bro. Yo, this episode.
The funniest part was he was like, "Man, you ain't got no energy." I'm like, "All right, wait till we start talking."
Bro, the man.
No, for real. But even when I was a child, I was like in my 20s. Like basically, it was a raccoon that lived on my mom's block, and he would be in the trash can every night. So certain nights when I come home from the club, that motherfucker be in the trash can. He had one hand up with his little hand holding the lid up, and the other one in there grabbing shit. And I would always pull in the alley to go in the back to park my car, and the motherfucker just be like, I pull in slow, obviously, I'm pulling to the alley. I ain't zooming through the alley because of the potholes.
Of course.
That motherfucker have his little hand up on the trash can, digging in there. He'll see me pull up in my little turquoise Saturn, look over at me, I'll be like, and then just turn back and keep digging that motherfucker. And it would happen all the time, almost like he was waiting on me to come home from the club. That was my guy though. R.I.P. him. I'm sure he's not alive no more. That was like 14 years ago. I'm sure he in raccoon heaven.
Isn't it crazy how everything about your story, if you would have replaced the raccoon, if you would have replaced the raccoon with bruh man, that the story would have still went on the exact same way. You just stop and look at him, hit you with the.
I promise you, he was a good friend though. He was a good coon.
I'm always surprised at how human like raccoons are. Like they
got like real hands.
They temperamental than a motherfucker. You hear me? They're not playing. They're like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be out tonight. Get your ass in the house. I'm gonna go through your garbage. Don't interrupt me. You better not. Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, I got another raccoon story. He was not a friend. Childhood memory though. This one is actually a childhood memory. So my mom had this amazing friend who was a fellow teacher. R.I.P. Miss Peggy.
R.I.P. Miss Peggy.
Beautiful white lady, beautiful soul, loved us. So she liked to do shit like go camping and on road trips. So we took a road trip to Toronto before, but we also took a road trip to like, I don't know, somewhere in Wisconsin, like where the woods was. And one time we was like, and we was in the woods, and we had like a little cabin. We like go outside and go do something. We come back in, we in the room like watching a Disney movie or something like that. I'm a little kid. All of a sudden we just hear clank, 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 clank. We're like, what is that? We all get up, everybody's scared. Clank, clank, clank. They go in the kitchen. All we hear is a scream. We go in the kitchen. It's a raccoon just in the motherfucking kitchen with some pans, like clanking them together and shit with his hands, like holding them, clanking them together. I'm telling you, G. I don't know how this happens.
You remember Waterboy when Lawrence Taylor was like, which brings me to my next point, kids. Don't do drugs.
No, I'm for real. I'm dead ass. You can ask my mama. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. About the cabin thing, I'm not lying. About the one with the garbage can, I'm not lying either, because I ain't got no reason to lie about it.
I don't know what Republican ass.
Why is he in the trash can every night at 2:30 in the morning?
Why are y'all going to Wisconsin like that's a place people like to go?
No, actually, you know what? You want to know something funny? You want to know something funny? No. Because actually, I believe this was the same trip. It actually might have been one trip. It was a long trip though. We took, but we went to Benton Harbor, right?
Yep.
Well, you remember when they had whatever racism type of event that
Yeah.
happened in Ben Harbor, like in
Yeah.
like the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
So we pull into like a Denny's or someplace with like a thing. They see us, but they won't serve us, right? They serve the white people because we was in two different vans. So they served the white family because my mom's friend Peggy was white. So like they served her family, but then we kept pulling up and they just wouldn't serve us, right? So so my mom, we finally pull up from around the drive-thru or something like that. We with my cousin, and then my mom's friend pulls up, and my cousin's like, man, I feel like we around Benton Harbor or something. Then like we communicating. And then my friend's mom, she pulls down the window. She's like, this is Benton Harbor. And then we was like, we gotta go. So we got immediately the fuck out of Benton Harbor. If you black, never go to Benton Harbor. So yes, you're right. That was a very
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Great trip though. Great trip though. Niagara Falls was incredible. Like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. So, shout out to Toronto, shout out to Canada. All right, let's go ahead.
This man said all of your shout outs was not even related. This man shout out raccoons.
No,
it's a
it was a through line with all of that. No, because on the same trip we went to the cabin, we went to Benton Harbor, and then we drove up to Canada. And we went to Toronto. We drove through Toronto, I believe, and then we went to Niagara Falls. And then we came back down through Buffalo in New York during the same day of the New York blackout.
Boy, you just an unlucky motherfucker. Like,
I know, it's like some Forrest Gump type shit.
Hey, you ride past. Hey,
literally, all the radios and shit and the broadcast is like, yo, everything went to like emergency stuff, and then they start saying that there was a blackout in New York City, and that was like when New York blacked out, and whatever year that was.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that was in 2003.
I can't top the racist raccoon banging pans in your kitchen. I don't, you know what I mean? Like that. Listen.
I don't know if he was being racist or if he was saying like, "Yo, it beat people in here. Y'all ain't make nothing."
Hear me out though.
Get your ass in the kitchen and make some food.
Nah, I feel like he saw a black family and a white family together, and he was trying to bring attention by banging the pans and say, "Hey, y'all need to separate." So I think for me, I feel like he was uncomfortable. He was racially uncomfortable. He said he was going to be the only black and white thing in the cabin. Okay,
that is hilarious.
I'm just saying. Yeah, watch out for them racist raccoons in Wisconsin. It's a thing.
Yeah. So Young Thug,